Well, hey guys, welcome back. Now in this video I'm going to be talking to you about some products that I've been sent from Rukka, the M Clima temperature regulating vest. So if you're interested to know what I think about it, then stay tuned and I'll see you in seconds few. Just covered you all in water. So the Rukka M Clima temperature regulating vest, is it any good? Well, I've been testing it over the last 2 or 3 months and thus far I've been very happy with it. So for those of you who are unaware of what it is, it's basically a vest that you wear under your jacket that keeps you warm in the winter but also keeps you cool in the summer. Now this vest has been out a couple of years I think, and I think Rukka were the first ones to actually produce a vest with the heating and cooling element within the same vest. Now basically it's a vest that you wear on top of a base layer but underneath a mid layer, so as close to your body as you can, obviously not on the naked skin, but just on top of a base layer is the way to go. Now before I go into the ins and outs of it and actually what I think about the vest, it's important to just quickly cover the cost of the thing, because you need to be sitting down when I tell you how much this thing is. Now I was lucky enough at a young age to grasp the concept of money, so please try to refrain from losing your minds in the comment section below about how expensive gear is. Just be mindful that there is a market for this sort of gear. Yes, I appreciate some people it may be out of their budget, or it might be something they wouldn't want to spend that amount of money on, but just be mindful there is a market for it. I'm lucky enough to be in the privileged position to actually sort of test this gear and give my opinion on it, so just bear that in mind before you go mental down below. So having said that, what does this thing cost? This thing costs you 1,000 euros. Yes, 1,000 euros, which, yes, I agree is a hefty amount of money, and we'll talk about whether I think that's worth it towards the end of the video. So what can that amount of money provide you? Well, as I said at the start of the video, in the winter months it can warm you nicely and keep you toasty warm, and in the summer months keeps you nice and cool. But how does that actually work? So the heating element of the vest is fairly simple. Probably like other vests you've probably seen on the market, there's basically some sort of heating coils in and around the vest that go around your body, and it connects to the sort of hub down at the side of the jacket. You plug that into either the motorbike or a battery pack. Click on this little remote here of what feature you'd like, so either the little sunshine for warming or the little frost logo there for keeping you cool. And for the cooling feature, there's a compressor down at the side of the jacket that sticks out underneath the bottom. That's basically a fan operated sort of compressor that blows then cool air through the vest, keeping you nice and cool during the hot summer months. That basically turns on and blows air through the jacket, and inside the jacket is kind of a mesh fabric inside, with tiny little micro sort of holes all over the jacket, so you get kind of sort of micro jets of cool air passed over your body. Now it's worth noting that when you do engage the cooling system, the vest does inflate slightly, nothing too frantic, but just a few millimeters. And it keeps then basically direct pressure inside the vest itself, and which gives you then a constant pressure or a constant airflow through the small little jets, which is a sort of a brilliant design on how it actually works. But point to note on that, even in the summer months, even in sort of 30-degree heat, it still feels like it's cool air, although the air temperature could be quite high. But because of the micro sort of holes inside, or the perforated holes inside the vest, it does feel like the air is cold, so it's definitely a plus. Now in the box itself, it comes obviously with the vest itself all connected up, all set up and ready to go. You've got various cables inside the box there. You can either connect a power cable to your battery and then run a cable down somewhere around. I've got it down the side of the bike here, where you can plug directly this sort of curly whirly cable into the bike's power, and you haven't got to worry about running out of juice then on a battery pack. Now it is the same connector as my Optimate 4 battery charger connector, which I already had installed on the bike. So if you are using one of them, it's the same connector, so you can leave that one on there and run the jacket over it. Inside the box there's various sort of chargers and adapters for whatever country you're or what power supply you have in your country that you buy from, and all the gubbins that's in there, everything you need to keep the vest going or charged up, etc. But with every product, you know, there are good and bad points, and there are some negatives, so that's worth going through, so we'll just cover them now. Firstly is, although it comes with a battery pack, if you don't want to power the vest through your bike, the battery pack can only power the cooling element of the vest, which is a kind of a bizarre thing to have. So if you want to have the heated element, you've definitely got to be connected to your bike, which isn't a biggie. But it means, obviously, if you then get off the bike, you can use the cooling effect. If you say you get off and you stop for a coffee, or you're wandering around, you can still keep yourself cool over the battery pack. Now, it is worth saying that when the fan is on, it does sound like a bit of a hairdryer, possibly not quite as loud as a hairdryer, but you've got that fan operating as you're moving around. So whether that be something I would use, I don't know whether you'd want that. That's obviously a personal thing. So that's a bit of a bummer, and I'm not sure why that is, because I think it'd probably be more beneficial to be able to use the battery with the heating element, so if you are sort of off bike in the colder temperatures, that you can still keep yourself warm. So you can only heat yourself while you're on the bike and running it off the bike's power. Now that brings me on to a sort of another niggle about the heating side of things, is that it's an on-off operation, so there's no way of regulating the temperature of the vest. It's just on or off. Now you see a lot of vests on the market these days where they've got sort of up to 3 or 4 settings on how warm the vest actually gets. On this you can't do that, it's basically just on and off. Now what I have found is that sort of towards 10 degrees, where you'd probably like to have it on, just to take the nip off the or the wind chill nip off your body. That's actually 10 degrees is too warm to actually use the vest. If you then put it on, you start to overheat and you do end up sweating, so that's not ideal. But anything below 10 degrees keeps you nice and toasty warm, so that's ideal. Down towards the sort of minus degrees, I was out the other day in -2. Obviously with a bit of wind chill, probably about -5, I would say. You don't feel the heat of the vest as much. You can tell it's on because you're not freezing your nuts off, but it just makes you comfortable. Now that I've got it on now, I can actually feel the heat. But in the real sort of colder temperatures, as I said, it just makes you comfortable. Now needless to say, if you didn't have it on, then you would be freezing, so it works in that respect very, very well. Now obviously, probably like most, when I first saw the pictures of this vest, when I knew I was going to be testing the product, I saw the fan that's down on the side of the jacket and I thought, blimey, that's going to be annoying. But you really don't notice it when you're sat in a seated position. Obviously it then sort of tucks down the side of your leg, so you really don't know it's there. So in that respect, no worries at all with the sort of, or having that compressor or fan on the side of the jacket. Now having said that, what I would like to see in a vest of this sort of price is that if you're not needing the cooling effect of the jacket for the winter months, it'd be nice if you can remove it just so it's not there, because you're not going to be using it anyway. Because with the compressor at the side of the jacket, you can't, or I can't attach my trousers to the jacket. So if you've got a zip around trouser, you then can't connect them together, which is a bit of a shame. If you've just got the sort of one small zip at the back of your jacket, depending on what jacket and trousers you're using, that will still work. But because my zip starts on the left of the trousers, I can't even connect them at all. If it was on the right hand side, I could probably get it sort of 3/4 round and it'd be okay. So that is a bit of a bummer. It would be nice to see that you could remove the compressor if you're not using the cooling effect, because not only is it the fan and compressor, it's actually the sort of hub of where all your cables connect to. So there's no way of taking it off. Or your heating element, your cooling element and your battery pack all connects to this sort of hub at the side, so there's no way of being able to get rid of that. So that's a bit of a shame. That's something maybe that could have been included in the design, I feel, is the function or the possibility to take that off if you're not using it. Now, having got those few sort of negatives out of the way, I'm still very, very impressed with it. Although it's very expensive, which could be obviously a negative, it is a lot of money. It has made my life so much more, or the ride so much more enjoyable. I was able to test it sort of towards the arse end of summer, towards sort of 30-degree temperatures, and it definitely made it more comfortable. Now, it is worth quickly saying about the cooling side of things as well. I forgot to mention earlier. It's definitely something that you have to wear under a sort of a closed jacket. There's no point in wearing a mesh jacket or under a mesh jacket. And the normal jackets or textile jackets that you wear, it's best to ensure all your vents are closed, that it can sort of work its magic on its own, because if you have got vents open or you're wearing a mesh jacket, then you're not going to feel any benefit from the vest. Also, with regards to fitment, I would say, or I would encourage to go a size down if possible. If you do using the Rukka sort of size chart that they have online, if you fall between, say for example, a large and an extra large, then go for the large size down, because you need it to be snug on your body. If it's baggy, especially on the heating side of things, then you're probably not where am I going here? You're probably not going to benefit as much. It needs to be nice and snug on your body to benefit from both heating and cooling sides of the vest. So that is worth pointing out. Absolutely no idea where I'm going here, riding through town. Now, having discussed obviously what the vest can do and what it can provide you, the good things and bad things about it, I suppose, like I mentioned at the start of the video, would I actually buy one myself? Probably not. Although I've been enjoying using it and it's been fantastic, €1,000 is definitely steep. Whether it's actually worth $1,000, I don't know. Probably the best environment to use this thing in, or for customers that would probably potentially buy this, is if you lived in the Alps, or you were traveling to the Alps and you did a lot of tours. You obviously, when you're higher up in the mountains, you can then when it cools down, you can quickly give yourself a blast of heat, and then when you go down the bottom of the mountains into sort of towns and whatnot where the temperature rises, then you can knock on the heating element. You haven't got to get off your bike, strip off sort of clothing or put clothing on. It definitely makes your life much easier. Whether it would be worth $1,000 for me, I don't know. I'd like to see a sort of a price a lot less than that, to be honest. And with the sort of niggles that I've had with it, or the negatives that I've pointed out, for me, $1,000, it has to be damn near perfect for me to then say yes, it's worth the buy. But needless to say, obviously there are people that you know, there is a market for this sort of stuff. Yes, I appreciate, as I said at the start of the video, it's probably not in everyone's budget, and even if people could afford it, whether people would want to pay that amount of money for the vest, that's obviously a personal thing. That can be up to the customer themselves to decide whether it's worth it or not, but I can only obviously tell you my opinion on it. So that is pretty much all I can sort of say on the vest, now that it's getting pretty nasty, soggy, wet and cold. Although I'm not cold, I am toasty warm. I'm going to head on home. Hopefully that has been of interest to you and that I've covered everything that you may wish to know. If I have missed anything, then be sure to leave your questions down in the comment section below. But as I said at the start of the video, please refrain from losing your minds about how much some of this gear costs. As I said to you, not everything that I test would I personally spend that much money on. I can only give my opinion on how it performs. Needless to say, if you enjoyed the video, then be sure to leave me a like before you sod off, or leave me a dislike if you thought it was garbage, but make sure you leave a comment down below to let me know how I should improve things. But there's nothing more to say than I've been Sean, you have been fantastic. Thank you for watching till the end. I will see you in the next one. Safe winter riding, take care. I wanna run to you. Won't you hold me in your arms? I don't really, but hey Cardo, radio off.
Stay on there, you.
Been riding around without it plugged in. What a conker. Please believe me.